Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. And I'm delighted to be joined by Chris Jenkins. Chris, good afternoon, buddy. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, mate. It's a very stressful day a minute. Getting everything ready before we head out. We're leaving now. I think 2:30 in the morning. So
let me guess, last minute packing and last minute preparation, right?
Yeah, mate. It's mainly all it is now. Is there's no more training tonight now. I had a light session this morning with my strength and conditioning coach, and then it's just basically packing, making sure I've got everything.
Well, this Saturday in Belfast, Chris, you do take on Tyrone McKenna.
Yeah.
Promises to be a very exciting fight. When the fight was first made, a lot of people thought that this is seen as a sort of last chance saloon for the both of you, especially with coming off the back of defeats. Chris, what happens if the fight doesn't go your way on Saturday? Because it is a 50-50 fight. I believe this is Tyrone's first fight up at 147, or are you going down in weight?
No, 147. I can make the weight. That's the main thing. I could do healthy. I don't know how the hell he was making 140. He's 6'1" or whatever he is. So he's coming up, and like you said now regarding the fight, I know I'm not the fight that I was 2, 3, 4 years ago. I'm 33 now. I know I'm at the tail end of my career, but I want to challenge myself against good fighters like Tyrone.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have challenged yourself this year. I mean, obviously the win against Julius Indigo on the Eubank Williams undercard, and then obviously the fight against Florian Marco. When you get to a certain stage of your career, especially the one that you're at, the question people ask is what is it that you are trying to achieve? What is the main target now that you are at these sort of latter stages in your career, Chris?
Just fight as regular as I can and just earn some money. That's the facts. You know what I mean? I'm a self-employed jack of all trades, you call them. I do everything from painting to cleaning to everything. So it's nice to earn that bit of extra money, you know. Hopefully get a win now Saturday. And camp's gone great. I've had great sparring with Kieran Jones. He's a gym member of mine. With Conor McIntosh and Wayne Crocker, and also I just want to win, and hopefully we see what's next. So if it obviously doesn't go my way, I know I'm up against it. I'm going to Belfast, and they say you've got to knock them out to get a draw, but I'm just going over there, trained hard, and hopefully it all comes together on the night, and I come away with a nice little win.
I mean, you've been in the sport now a very, very long time, as you said. You feel as if you're not the same fighter you was 3 or 4 years ago. And if you rewind back 3 years ago, you were British champion. Obviously, time does catch up with you with fighters. Went through the pandemic. A lot of fighters weren't out as much as they would have liked to have been. Are you still enjoying the sport? Are you still enjoying fighting, Chris, or is it just a case of just getting as many as you can before that day does come when you do decide to leave the sport?
When it comes to the fighting part, I just love fighting. I've been boxing now for 21 years, from an amateur to a pro, so it's all I've known really in life. I am always in the gym. I'm always keeping myself fit. So we had this phone call, I think it was 4 weeks out. I had a bit of weight to lose, but I just want to see what happens. That's what I'm like. I know I'm not going to be a world champion, and I've said that when I was British Commonwealth champion at the time. But the inactivity, the 20-month layoff in between winning the belt and then defending it, and the pandemic came in, that kind of starting me a little bit. But we'll just see what happens Saturday. But I put the work in, and that's the main thing.
Okay, let's talk a bit about your opponent, Tyron McKenna. A bit similar to you. He's been in the sport for a very, very long time. He's been involved in some good fights. You know, he's been in some notable fights, especially against Regis Prograis, O'Hara Davis. You know, he's been around the sport for a very long time. Firstly, just want to get your thoughts on him as a fighter, please, Chris.
I've only watched a bit of Tyrone. Obviously, I watched him against O'Hara Davis because the back and forth between them two was good. I didn't watch his last fight against Prograis or whatever his name is, and obviously he've only lost to Jack Catterall as well, I think. So you look at the caliber of fighters he's lost to. They're either world champions or should be world champions. They are up there. So he's a very good fighter. I do rate him, and I think he's a good crack outside the boxing as well. So that's what you want. You know, I don't think we're going to have any fisticuffs like the Marku situation my last fight at the weigh-in. I think he's going to be respectful of me like I'm respectful of him.
Given the fact that you mentioned you're going to be going to Belfast and that you claim that a knockout would probably get you a draw, is the game plan to go in there and finish the fight with inside the distance?
We have a game plan, you know. There's like 2 or 3 game plans we can go at, and obviously game plans can go out the windows and the fight's going ahead. So I'll scale it from when I'm in the ring, obviously during the fight, and see what I need to adjust and see what we make adjustments to. And you know, a win I'll be happy with, and I'll be, you know, it'll be a nice little win. I know I haven't got long left in the sport, like I've said, but I'm confident I'm not going over there just to get a payday. I'm going there to get a win.
Well, it's definitely a very exciting fight, and it's a good night of boxing, and it's one that we're really looking forward to as well. We've got the zone card as well in Sheffield, so there's a few options out there for the hardcore boxing fans. Let's just pick your brains about a few topics. I remember when I first ever interviewed you, you spoke a lot about the Conor Benn fight, and you know Conor Benn was still a young and up and coming fighter.
Yeah.
A lot of people now expecting that fight with Chris Eubank Jr. to be his next fight. Firstly, do you think it's the right move for Conor, Chris?
To be honest with you, they're going to get paid a ton full of money, aren't they? So I think he's experienced enough to kind of look after himself. Personally, I think it will work in his favour for the later on rounds, but you know, how much is it going to take out of Eubank, with Eubank dropping down to 155, I think, or 156?
Mm-hmm.
So, and Eubank he can hit, then you know, he can work hard. So, I think as long as they make money and they both come out healthy, it's a win-win all round. And people saying that they won't watch it, they won't buy it, but let me tell you, there'll be a lot more people buying it and watching it who won't tell people.
When I first ever interviewed you, we spoke a lot about a potential fight with Conor Benn.
Yeah.
The time that, you know, how important it is for a British fighter to, you know, win the British outright, which you've done in your career. Do you still think that Conor Benn needs to look at these British fighters, maybe even including yourself, and think that these...
No, with myself, I don't think as much. You know, we got Echo Westman who's beat me for the title. That'll be a good fight, him against Echo Westman. But then the name that keeps on popping in the back of my mind now is David Avanese. What a great fight that will be, the two of them. And I think it'll be a close fight as well.
Is it a case of Conor Benn looking at the Chris Eubank Jr. fight for the legacy, for the payday? Or do you think that it's just the fact that because of the situation of his rankings and how far he is away from the likes of the Crawfords and the Errol Spencers right now, you know, for his career, does this fight with Chris Eubank Jr., do you think it makes sense right now? Or would the ideal move be towards that British title with an Echo Essuman, or perhaps even the European title, which is held by David Avanesian?
Yeah, well, obviously, I don't know. He's got a team around him. He's got his family around him. He's got friends around him. He's got advisors around him telling him what they think is the best option. And then if this is the best option, then go with it. He's probably going to have a lot more money for the fight against Eubank than he would do possibly against David Avanese. So you got to crunch numbers together and get a few heads together, and that's probably the reason why he's going for it.
Okay, Chris, final one before I let you go, because I know you've got a few busy days ahead of you. We're less than 3 weeks away from the big
3
rematch.
weeks.
Yes. Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua, which takes place in Saudi Arabia. Chris, just want to get your predictions. What do you see happening in the rematch?
I think if Anthony Joshua tries doing like he done in the first fight, I think he gets beaten again. Obviously what's going on in Ukraine, and Usyk was fighting the war, you know, credit to him. But he's come out and he's going to represent his country in the ring. So I think it's going to be the same result again, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, again, another fight we've got to look forward to. We've got a really exciting period of boxing coming up. Chris, a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for your time. And we wish you the best of luck for Saturday night in Belfast. We'll be definitely tuning in for what promises to be a good night of boxing and an entertaining fight between yourselves and Tyrone McKenna. And yeah, again, wish you the best of luck. We hopefully you come back safe to your family, you and Tyrone and the rest of the fighters on the card. And yeah, thank you for your time once again, Chris.
No worries, my man. I just want to say a big shout out to my team, my sponsors as well. And I'm looking forward to this fight, but I'm actually going away 2 weeks later to a place called Halon in a region of Alicante to go out to a boxing gym out there, where I've met a man called Jamie Chapman's Boxing, and I'm excited for after the fight. But obviously for now, we're going to concentrate on Saturday night.
Well, again, best of luck for that fight. It's going to be a really good one. And we hopefully look forward to catching up with you at some point after the fight. We hope you enjoy your holiday as well.
Most definitely. Appreciate your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, bud.